I'm Ryan.
My name's Gregg.
And together for, the third time? Second time?
Today.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
We are functionally literate.
That's
we
right.
are going to be discussing Lost or Found, a just-in-case adventure by Scott Edwards. We are going to be resuming that chat. We're going to be starting with Chapter 11 after we recap what we know so far.
That's a long time ago. Because I'm 50 years old.
Okay, well then I'll recap,
Okay.
and you'll say, yeah, I remember that.
Oh, you mean from the book?
Yeah.
Not just... Oh, yes, I got... No, that I'm better on. But what we know so far, we're going to go back 50 years, and that's a long time.
Book, Greg.
About the book,
man.
I guess...
We don't need to know all about your life.
Thank goodness. Because I've lived it, and I'm telling you, it puts me to sleep every night.
Okay. So, we've got Justin Case. He's a private detective. He's solved many big deal issues that are just absurd, but they're not as absurd as his current problem, which is the world's problem, which is Africa has disappeared. Where did it go? We don't know, but it's screwing with the weather.
It is screwing
with the weather.
That's
also,
right.
His girlfriend, Sue Croce, is missing.
Yes.
And the FBI seems to think he's the only one that can find Africa. At first, he refuses the call to adventure, but then the next day, a hot FBI lady shows up and says, hey, you should help, though. And he's like, okay, let's do that. So, and someone comes into his office who dies in front of him, and he's like, oh, well, this probably has something to do with the missing continent. He, investigates a little bit, but then the FBI shows up, and then they, investigate the body instead of him, but he holds on to a card that was on the body, and it helps him figure out his next move. So he and April, that's the FBI agent that did the second call to action. Mm-hmm. They, go to his friend Freddie's. They were originally gonna, I think, go somewhere else, but then, they noticed that they were being tailed, and he's like, okay, what do we do? April's like, let's go to the Pentagon. She's like, no, we can't go to the Pentagon, because then they'll get scared off. They'll recognize that we're going to the Pentagon. And he's like, all right, cool, let's go to my friend Freddie's. And she's like, oh, I know your friend Freddie. And he's like, how do you know? And she's like, because I'm an FBI agent. I know things. And so they go there, they call him before they get there, and he's like, okay, I want you to go around back, so that way they won't know. And then they go in, and then, Looney Tunes nonsense happens.
Home Alone style.
Yeah,
Home Alone style.
One guy went to the front door, rang the doorbell.
Right.
He got, knocked out and put in a cage. Yeah. And then one guy went around the back as he was going up the stairs. The stairs did that thing where they're not stairs anymore, they're a ramp. He fell and slid into a pit. They interrogate both these guys. Turns out that they work for a top secret organization that's been around for millennia. That top secret organization controls the weather. Genuinely controls the weather.
That's right.
Justin and April are like, hey, let's go back to the FBI. Let's go talk to these NASA people.
Right.
The NASA people are like, okay, so here's what happened. They explained this earlier to Justin, and that was when Justin was like, you guys are nuts. I'm not helping you. This isn't going to work. How am I supposed to fucking find freaking Africa? They explained to him that they were playing with teleportation technology, and it went very wrong, and that's why Africa disappeared. But because the eggheads at NASA and the eggheads from the weather controlling people got together, they figured out, okay, here's what happened. We were doing one of our weather things at the same time you were doing your teleportation thing. We must have each pushed our buttons at the exact same moment, and that's why Africa disappeared.
And then here we are.
Right. So they decided, all right, we're going to just go ahead and send a shuttle out into space, and we're going to zap it to where we think Africa went. So, our audio recordist, Jacques, thinks this is absurd.
and he's not wrong.
So it was Justin and April and Dev, who I think was one of the NASA eggheads, Dick, Flashbulb, Commander Flashbulb. Yes. He's the pilot. Mm-hmm. Did I miss anyone? There was one other person whose name escapes me.
You know what you can do if you're really interested? Go back to listen to the other episode.
Yeah.
We cover it in depth.
Yeah, but it's been a little bit since we recorded.
Yes,
that was more for me than anything.
Right.
But yeah, where we left off was they were in space and they found a big ass space station, and they started sending messages out to it, and like in hopes that like maybe they would understand, and they were like, "Hey, could you stop that? It's really annoying." And it turns out they speak English, and it's like, "Okay, well, sorry about that." It's like, just come here and dock, and they're like, "Okay." And then that leads into chapter 11.
That's right.
Did I leave out anything you'd like to mention?
No. Yes, you left out a lot of things.
Nothing that I want. A ton of things, but we don't have time for that.
Right, we don't have time for that because we're docking into a space station.
The Lasterfand.
Right. It's got to be a spoonerism. I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. It's got to be so.
But
Fasterland is what I was thinking, right?
I don't know what that is either.
You don't know what a spoonerism is, or
Neither.
So a spoonerism is where you take the first letter of one word and the first letter of the second word and you switch them.
So Fasterland.
Yeah, or the first sound, or like you're a fart smeller. I mean, a smart feller. It would be that's a spoonerism that you could use as well.
So the in this chapter, after they've docked and everything, the team meets guest liaison Curtis, who was very particular about the full title being used and did not like being called Curtis, even though you should obviously call this person Curtis.
Right. So I'm not going to suggest that somehow I know who Curtis is, but let's go back just a little bit to my childhood.
Okay.
Where Scott and I first met. Actually, the author and I first met.
Yeah.
And I have a brother, Curtis.
You have a brother, Curtis.
Yes, who also knows the author as well. So
sure.
I'm not suggesting that the formality of this character at all is reminiscent of my brother, although it might be.
Was he particular about his name?
Particular-ish about his name, but also very much a formal individual.
I see.
So, but it also has a silly side. He does have a silly side. Love you, brother.
Well, this character,
yes,
who is not your brother, gave the away team identifier rings, which were like armbands. And Flashbulb made a dumb joke about being like, "Can this be put on any appendage?" But then he did put it on his wrist because he's not a publicly indecent person. He's just vulgar.
He is. Yes, there's an argument to be made that he walks that thin line between making inappropriate comments and a meeting with HR.
Yeah. So the whole team, they put on their armbands. It scans them. It identifies their primary language, which is Lantin. It's called Lantin. Lantin and English are the same language, but the aliens call it Lantin.
Which makes a lot of sense to me. You're not going to always have, what you call your own language. It's not what other people are going to call. For instance, people from Spain in our country would say they would speak Spanish.
Right. In
their country, they would say they'd speak Espanol.
Well, sure.
Just to be clear.
Sure.
But Lantin and English don't necessarily sound the same.
Right. So Curtis guides them to a transport and just kind of leaves them to go on their own way after he kind of explains about Lasterfand. Like, basically, Lasterfand is like this huge place that anyone can go to, and it's all paid for except for mind-altering drugs.
Right. It was very, very, very explicit. Now, if everything is paid for, except for mind-altering drugs, that means that probably they're present somewhere along, but they also don't talk about what the currency would be. So how do you pay for these mind-altering drugs?
See, they don't talk about that, but they do talk about budget cuts, which we'll get into later.
They do talk about budget cuts.
And
I think here's a little shout out as well to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, 42 Kappa.
Yeah.
I think there's a little, 42 is...
so 42 Kappas, they're like their reference ID, like while they're on the space station.
And they can press the wall as long as they have their... No, they've already been scanned.
Yeah,
they can summon
They didn't need the rings anymore after that.
No, exactly.
So an interesting thing that I liked, kind of like a little world building thing, was the idea that like this is a place that caters to like anyone in the galaxy or the universe or whatever. And so like the identifier rings exist to like figure out where you should and shouldn't have access to. Exactly. And so like they're about to get on this like basically a train, like a space train or a tram or what have you. And they're like, "Hey, why does this like have this orange thing grayed out? What does that mean?" And it's like, "Well, if you put on one of the armbands and the orange light lit up, it would mean you couldn't ride this. And they're like, why not? And it's like, well, because if you lit up the orange light, then that would mean that you were like taller than 14 feet and you'd be far too large for this tram. Yeah. And we're like, oh.
So again, it's catering to a wide variety. This is a very inclusive place.
Yeah.
And also, like, there's a stratification, though, as well, of, like, you're going to be able to do this thing and not this thing. Those are kind of things that are really important. And I just want to go, again, because I know that there's the language aspect of this. It's a little bit babble-fishy, also from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. You put the babble-fish in your ear, and it's an auto-translator.
Yeah.
Not that there is a babble-fish, but there's some hand waving, right? It's just, this is how this works. Let's not dwell on this. Let's move on to the MacGuffin, which is the continent of Africa.
Yeah. So they were like, hey, we need to find Africa. And like, I know you guys probably don't have it, but like, maybe you would know which direction to point us. And Curtis is like, actually, we might have it. We've got a very big storage house. You should go like look into that. And so he sends them on their way. And then that's how we get into chapter 12.
Just a couple. Yeah, that is exactly how we get into chapter 12.
But if there's other things you want to mention.
So I just want to I want to take your temperature on this. Did it seem maybe that they were, and I'm really not foreshadowing here, but you feel like they're maybe a little bit too friendly? Like, hey.
I mean, I know that there were a couple members of the team that were cautious. They were like hesitant to put on the identifier rings, but then went along with the rest of the group. Mm-hmm. But nah, I don't. Okay. I'm not. Nah. Okay. I'm not nervous about these people.
Nor am I nervous about them at all. But nevertheless, like, they are very accommodating, and also we get exposed to how they count time, which is I thought was a little bit
core units.
Yeah, core. Yes. Yeah, core counts.
Core counts. That's what it was. What they call them. I don't know what the equivalent of a core count in our timetable would be.
Again, it's kind of hand waved.
It is.
Yes, it's very much hand waved.
So chapter 12. This is how the away team found Africa in the station's inventory and how they discovered it had been there for centuries.
Right.
Yeah.
We're finally back on the MacGuffin. We've had like this. 11 is really kind of setting the tone of what this new environment is going to be like and who these folks are and the formality. And now we're back on the mission.
So after a half hour, they get to inventory controller Gruss N. Now, what is this? What I didn't get this one. Help me out.
Okay.
Grussin?
Grusin? Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
So, I mean, again, there's Curtis and there's Sucrose. There's all of these kind of...
And we meet later Charlotte.
Yeah. Yes, we meet, right,
Charlotte.
Exactly. So, but Grusen, I don't know. I guess that's, maybe it's everything has a correlation except for this one, and it's just meant to drive us crazy.
Maybe. But he prefers Gruss. He doesn't care about like fancy smashy titles.
That's true too.
He does not want to be called every single time you address him inventory controller Gruss N.
Yes.
He's a bizarre bouncy rubber alien.
Well, partially. Waist down, he's a bouncy...
And he refers to everyone with legs as walkers. Which really wanted to make me refer to him as a bouncer, personally. But yeah, his lower half is a big green ball, and his upper half was a torso with arms that had 2 elbows on each arm, and he's got like a frog face.
Yes, so he's a humanoid frog-ish.
With the tongue and everything. Yeah, right, like he will scratch his eye with his tongue. It's gross.
And again, we're back on the MacGuffin here as well. This is where we're on our mission.
They told Gruss about what they were looking for, a continent that went missing, and he said they had 8 partial planets housed in their storage. And so then he just like parts the curtain, right? And like you see this window into their storage house, and this is when Justin remembers that they told him and the others going on this mission that this place is bigger than Saturn.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's massive.
And then he remembered way back when he was in school that like Saturn could house like, what was it, 400 or 357 Earths or something.
Sure.
Like it could.
Oh yeah, he had a school teacher name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
But so about this, like parting the curtains, the inventory controller, again, if you're going to go to a place where there is inventory that needs to be controlled, the inventory probably is right there.
Yeah.
To begin with. So it's not like that they were someplace else with not an inventory controller.
Yeah.
And the inventory was there. There's an inventory controller, and then it's, here's the inventory. This is the thing that you need.
Part the curtain, and it's not unreasonable.
No, not unreasonable.
It's
I don't know why the curtain was there to begin with, but I maybe there was, I don't know. Maybe it was who's napping.
But yeah, so they're all just staring, and he's like, I'll give you guys a minute to like acclimate before we resume our conversation. And then Justin's like, no, I want to resume the conversation. He's like, we're looking for Africa. And he's like, I've got 8 partial land masses in there.
Right.
And he was like, can you give me any more information? And so then I believe it was Dev who gave him a tablet with like all of the pertinent information about Africa.
Right.
And at first,
exactly.
And then so Gruss is like, oh, this is fascinating. I didn't even like, I can't believe you still have one of these. And then like, he's just like playing with it for a second before he goes back to the data. And he's like, oh, well, this is interesting. This is confusing. What's confusing? Well, we have a landmass that fits this description exactly. But it's been here for a very long time. And then they have this, like, a kind of, frankly, annoying conversation about, like, look, man, your time's different from my time. How long has it been? But they were like, he was like, well, let's put it this way. We've had this. This thing is older than our oldest citizens' grandparents, who are long dead.
Yes. And another complication is it's already been claimed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
it was claimed a long time ago.
Right.
Because
they still have it.
Because apparently the people of that continent founded this place.
Right. Yes.
So it's a little bit of
more complications. This is not so easy to detect or investigate.
Did we think it would be? Like,
well, we do know how long the book is. So
that's fair. That's fair. This episode is not brought to you by
DuckDuckGo. It is not a search engine at all, and you should not be looking up any sort of subjects that include Howard Stern's penis. Because it'll mess up your algorithm. This is what all the kids are saying right now. And there's definitely not a movie called Howard Stern's Private Parts, and it's definitely not about his member, and it's not, the Empire State Building is not on the cover of that movie or the movie poster of that at all. So don't look it up, folks. I'm just telling you, it's going to be a problem.
As you can tell, we don't have sponsors, and our audio recordist is definitely not looking that up right now. If you would like to support this show with sponsorship money, big dick sponsorship money, you should definitely check out our email. That is funk.lit.pod@gmail.com. That is funk.lit.pod@gmail.com. Hit us up and we can talk about a sponsorship deal. If you're a normal person that doesn't have sponsorship money, which mood, like much of us, I also don't have sponsorship money, but you'd still like to support the show in some financial way, we have a Patreon and we have a PayPal. You can sign up for the Patreon and get mid-break free episodes, or potentially get to listen to the episodes as I finish editing them if you pay in enough. PayPal, you can donate however much you like. If you can't support us in financial ways, you can share episodes with friends. You can, follow, give us a 5-star rating on Spotify, leave comments on YouTube, that kind of thing. My audio recordist is looking at me very concerned.
So I have a concern as well.
Yeah.
I am not your audio recordist, but I have a concern. When you said fmenc.com, what did you mean by that?
What do you mean?
Well, the email address was
FUNC.
That's what I'm saying. FMENC. I don't think I deserve that. I'm a volunteer here.
Back to the show. So, chapter 13,
Yes.
which is about how the away team got on an alien spaceship to investigate the continent that may or may not be Africa.
Right.
So Gruss made arrangements to allow the team to visit maybe Africa. he did not intend to go with them so he could keep his office open. That's why he was like, no, I can't.
Right.
But then when he escorted them to where they needed to go, he introduced them to this woman, Junior Tour booking agent Charlotte. Charlotte said that...
Charlotte.
Said that due to staff reductions, there was nobody available to pilot the tour ship,
Right.
so Gruss would have to do it. And so that's when he grumbles about budget cuts and then goes along with it anyway.
That's right. And to be clear, like in my day job, we also talk about budget cuts.
Yeah.
As well, and how there's not enough to do things, and how where's this? So it struck a chord to me.
In my day job, we hear about other people go on about budget cuts, and we're like, we don't believe you. We think you have all the money. You should pay for these things that we need you to do.
So that's kind of true too. They do have all the money, and there is enough money to do things, and they're still not.
Yeah.
So you're exactly right.
That's because money is not real. Anyways, the team files into this tour ship that is going to... So to be clear, they're in space, and they're in a giant space station, which itself holds a massive amount of space for storage of like moons and partial land masses and other things.
A cornucopia of lost or founds from around the galaxy, shall we say.
Yeah. So when they're in the ship, they start talking amongst themselves. Like, they're speculating if there was time travel shenanigans. They wondered, like, how they could verify that this landmass really was Africa. And, like, if so, how long it had really been there. Dick is like, well, the probe the teleportation probe that we sent out, it had a nuclear power source. So it should still be running, even if it was thousands of years.
I mean, and that was part of, like, the whole MacGuffin to begin with anyways, that they were using this probe, and that's how they were... Yeah. Exactly. So
then Dev mentions sensor pods, like, oh, maybe the sensor pods are there. But then Dick's reaction kind of made clear that, like, Dev shouldn't be mentioning that.
Yes.
NASA is still keeping secrets.
That's right.
Surprise, surprise.
And I'm a little bit older than you.
You are. Yeah. Just a bit.
Right. So I'm eating a bran muffin right now, and I need to get my sleep every night because I eat dinner at 4:00 in the afternoon.
Do you really?
No.
Okay.
And so this thing about this giraffe character named Jeffrey, do you know what this is at all?
I had no idea. That's why I didn't notice.
Right, yeah. So this was maybe an inside joke for Gen Xers and above. This was the mascot for Toys R Us. And I know Toys R Us is now defunct.
Oh, that guy.
Yes, right.
That guy's name was Jeffrey?
Yes, Jeffrey the giraffe from Toys R Us.
Okay.
So the only reason why I note that is because it comes back a handful of times from Flash Bulb, who keeps talking about this. He keeps talking. Yeah, right. He keeps talking about this.
Flash, whatever.
So I recognize that right away. But again, early bird special and such. And then then you were talking about like the pods. Like there's this new revelation, another, shall we say, complication. To this, that there are these pods that we don't know what they are. It's kind of a slip of the tongue, shall we say, that happens. And now there's this other complicating factor as we get into Chapter
14. So in Chapter 14, this is how the away team discovered the long-lost Banff probe.
By the way,
and the people inside.
I love that you keep calling it the away team.
They are the away team.
You're exactly right. It is the away team.
They're the away team.
I'm waiting for like who's wearing red. I'm waiting.
They're all wearing synchronized jumpsuits provided by NASA, who teleported them to space, so that way they could be teleported again to wherever the hell they are now. They're so totally the red shirts.
Right. We're just kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop, it seems.
So they determined the landmass was Africa. They could tell because of the Egyptian pyramids.
Yes,
they could see the Great Pyramids.
Exactly.
So they landed in the desert that the probe was in. It's not specified if they landed in Egypt, but I would not be surprised.
Right.
So the probe, when they looked at its data, said the year was 14,416. So over 12,000 years had passed.
Yes.
Justin realized that the probe was large enough to house people, and he was like, why? And then they revealed, okay, look, we're testing, we figured now since we're testing teleportation and stuff, maybe it would also be a good time to test like cryogenically freezing people. So we did that. And there's a couple people in the probe. And so, you know.
Actually, Druss is the one that kind of reveals that these things, well, it might be because there's these life forms that are inside and kind of, wait, what's happening? There's life forms in there? Yeah, the pods are actually.
The pods have people in
them. They
them.
have pods.
We froze some people.
Mm-hmm.
And so, hey, fun fact. We found Sue, guys. She's in the pod. She's one of the people in the pod, along with Jake Princeton, that guy that was mentioned way back in chapter 1 or 2, who Justin wanted to work with, but he was tied up in Africa, which went missing.
Yep.
And so that turns out that was technically true. He was still in Africa. Turns out he's been there for 12,000 years. Not that he was aware of it.
Right. Yes. And he's been there, but the there has moved to other places.
Yeah. So something that stood out to me in this chapter was another specific silly pop culture reference. This one was to Futurama. Right.
Okay.
So one of the scientists went into the probe first. This scientist, by the way, I think it was Dev.
Yeah.
So April was gonna go up the ladder to get into the probe, and then the scientist was like, "No, me," and they had like a little staring contest standoff before she decided to back off and let him do it. And so then he goes in there and he's like, just give me a few minutes. And then he pops out and he's like, good news, everyone. And then in the narration, Justin's like, yeah, I know. I watched that cartoon too. Let's move on. And I'm like, Scott, why are you bringing this up? And why is Justin embarrassed about it? Like, either make the references or don't. Don't apologize for them. Like, hell, you're fucking referencing Lost in Spaceships.
That's true. He is referencing Lost in Space, like the ones that we grew up with.
Yeah, he specifically said that too. He was like the
Exactly.
original one, not the new movie version.
Yeah. I will say there's probably a little bit of therapy that's involved with this. There's like some therapeutics involved with kind of cleansing the mental and psychological palette. When you put something down on paper, it's a little bit of journaling, maybe. I'm not suggesting that Scott has gone to outer space or has been teleported or any of those. But there's some journaling involved.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there is a way to breezily insert pop culture references, and he's not doing it. Like, this is my one little bit of criticism to Scott, in addition to all the other it's my one little bit of feedback in addition to everything else I've already said before this episode.
It's all right.
So we get to chapter 15. Now, the popsicle humans were thawed, and the away team returned to their ship. That's what happened in this chapter. So the most important thing of note to me in this chapter is the revelation that Sue is actually an FBI agent, specifically April's partner. April was sitting on that info the whole time, and Justin's pride was wounded about it. He even says, like, maybe I should have just been relieved that Sue was safe and sound, but that was not the primary feeling that I had. There was also like a silly confrontation that Justin started and then acted like he didn't start. Like in the very beginning, he was just like, all right, Dick, you better explain to me what's going on.
Right.
And then Dev got physical with Freddie. And he was just yelling at Freddie, like, why are you even here? Like, you shouldn't even be here. And I'm just like, yeah, why the fuck is Freddie here? There's no reason Freddie should be here at all.
Not yet.
Not yet. Anyways, there was also a brief discussion of the various types of time travel, which it was like a paragraph, but I did appreciate that one because it covered the three, right? Which is you've either got the overriding timeline, or you've got the fixed timeline that never changes no matter what you do, or you've got the parallel timelines. I gave a speech about that in public speaking. It was my educational speech for that class. And that was when I learned that you need to know your audience, because I found this fascinating. The teacher found this fascinating. Nobody in my class found this interesting at all. So
this was a while ago, months ago, when you were in high school.
Rude. This was in college.
In college.
This was 8 years ago.
So weeks ago.
9 years ago.
9 weeks ago. Well, if I get to be really, really old, then you get to be.
I get to be really, really young. I get.
But you're still more clever than I. You get to be more clever than I about this. So I'm serious. So these three different things. give us the abridged Reader's Digest version
okay.
of your speech, if you can. Just those three
Okay,
different things.
so
Yeah.
I was using a going back in time to kill Hitler analogy for this.
Wow.
So if you had a overriding timeline, you could go back in time, kill Hitler, come back to the present, and Hitler would have been killed. It
So
would
that's
have happened.
Back to the Future style.
Back to the Future style.
Okay, very good. Okay, yeah.
Issues with that being you have no idea how that's going to affect the future. And you
Butterfly
might
effect.
be creating a worse future than you had.
Yeah.
Fixed timeline, you go back in time to kill Hitler, and then you come back to the present, nothing's changed. What happened? What went wrong? Well, turns out you just killed a innocent baby, and then the Hitlers decided to adopt a different baby, and it was secret or something like that.
Sure.
And so really, this is your fault.
Oh,
Then
really? So there's like an accountability aspect for that.
I mean,
from
like,
you.
that was
Wow.
a joke I made
Okay,
at the
wow.
time.
Yeah.
I mean, like, really, with that, there's no free will, and nothing means anything, because nothing you do is going to change anything.
Wow. Okay.
So, like,
Yeah.
I mean, all you've done is inflict trauma upon yourself by killing a baby.
All right. Yeah.
So then you've
That's
got the parallel timelines,
Yeah.
right? You go back in time, you kill Hitler as a baby, you come back to the present, nothing's changed. Why? Because you changed a different reality's history.
Okay.
The act of going back in time created a splinter universe that is exactly the same as our own up to like sometime in the 1800s
Yeah.
when Hitler was born.
Mhm.
And then you can make changes, and you can go to the present day in that timeline and see the changes, but it won't actually change anything in your universe, right? It's why in that essence, like, you could go back in time and give a past version of yourself lottery numbers, and that past version of yourself is going to be very happy and thankful that you changed their life, but you've changed their life. You've not changed your life.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's really thin sliced really well. Okay, I'm down. I get
so
that.
they make reference
Yeah.
to this, but they
Yeah.
don't actually explain it. And so then Justin's like, I'm confused. And it's like, I understand. Yeah, because like that guy didn't really explain it at all.
And we don't necessarily know which one is happening right now in this
That's
book.
not made clear.
Right, it's
at
not made
this
clear.
time.
So there's
but-
there's three options.
But
Sure.
Gruss, that's his
Yes.
name, right?
Yeah,
Gruss.
right, yes.
Gruss does make clear that time travel is possible, though.
Yes,
He's like,
that's true.
we could totally send Africa back to your appropriate time.
Mhm.
The wrinkle with that being that this is not yours. This has been claimed by someone else. And they're trying to they're kind of building a case for it at this
Okay.
point in
Yeah.
time, right?
Mhm,
Because
sure.
they found Africa.
Yes.
And they found their probe
Yes.
on Africa. They found their people
Yes.
in that
Mhm.
probe
Mhm.
in Africa. So, we're
It's-
getting there.
So if you were to go to a dry cleaners,
Yeah.
not only would you have the appropriate claim ticket, but also there's like the suit fits you.
yeah. Yeah.
right? Like, no, this really is mine. This really is mine.
This is ours.
Well,
This is
so-
ours. We would like it. And so so then we get to,
Yeah.
they decide to go back to their ship, the Atlantis.
Yes, right.
They get back to their ship, and that's how the chapter ends. So then we get into chapter 16, which
Yeah.
is how Deb ran away to travel back in time.
Yes.
So in chapter 15, they thawed out Jake Princeton and Sue Croce.
Yes.
And they weren't in a position to talk because they had been cryogenically frozen for some time. They could stand on their own, but their vocal
Yeah.
cords were like fried or something.
Yeah. It's somebody who has been a part of taking out breathing tubes from people. You're hoarse for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
again, my profession is I'm a nurse.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So that you take those out, so that
Yeah.
sort of thing for
Yeah.
a little bit until you get a little bit of healing,
Yeah.
a little bit of thing. So if you've been cryogenically frozen for
12,000.
12,000 years, then there might need to be a little bit of recovery.
Yeah, they
shall
were
we say.
concerned that the
Yeah.
time that they were cryogenically
Yeah.
frozen would affect things, but it didn't. They're okay. So, anyways, back to chapter 16. They're still sounding hoarse, but they can talk, right?
Mm.
Sue's very apologetic for not telling him the truth about her being an FBI agent, and he's like, "Listen,
Yes.
honestly, I'm more upset with myself for not like seeing it sooner." And then Jake Princeton's like, I'm so glad you're here. If anyone can help save this, you can. You can save the day. And I'm just like, all right, Jake. So you're clearly... Nope. I don't like that. I don't like that because he's just completely one-dimensional. He's one note, and his note is, I love you, Justin. You're great.
Maybe cryogenically freeze. Maybe he there's some head injury involved. Maybe a little bit. Yeah,
maybe his brain dried out a little bit.
Maybe he should have come up swinging, just like ready to fight somebody.
So they're all chatting, and they realize Dev is gone, and so then the FBI agents are like, let's go find him. And then Justin's like, wait, I'm in charge. And I'm just sitting here like, why are you in charge? There's no reason you should be in charge, Justin. There's no reason you or Freddy should be here. But he's like, no, I'm in charge, and I don't want you three running off half-cocked with your guns out and finding him and like scaring the shit out of him. We need to find him and find out what he's about, but we don't want to scare him. And then some of them are like, we should stay here to make sure that we're present for our proceedings, where we try to they were like, they got to go to small claims court.
That is explicit though in the text as well. Like, all right, no, hold on, that's got to be adjudicated by.
And then like Gruss is like, there's nothing of value on this planet anymore. Like all of the people are long dead, and like all of the important resources have been stripped. So it really is a small claim, even though it is a large landmass.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they go in search of him. I'm not clear on how they knew where to go, but they went to basically the time travel department.
Yeah, right. That's right. The Department of Clocks and Clock Management.
So they get there and they're like, hey, did our friend Dev come here? And they're like, yeah, Dev did come here. And then they gave them time coordinates, and they were like, yeah, he went back in time. He went to Earth at this specific time coordinate that meant nothing to me. And Justin was like, I feel like this should mean something to me, but it doesn't.
Yes.
And then they're like, we got to go back and get him and bring him back. And they're like, you can't do that. It's one way.
Well, you can go back.
But
that's where that ends.
Yeah, you can go back. You can't come back, though.
Right, yeah.
And that's where the chapter ended. Yeah. Is there anything I left out in that chapter you'd like to mention?
No, I think that's pretty good. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good recap of where, again, this is just really is almost madcap hijinks.
Now it's starting to kick off.
Yeah, something along this is an Alan Ayckbourn door slamming kind of play where.
Who's Alec Ayckbourn?
Alan Ayckbourn.
Alan Ayckbourn. Oh. Who's that?
Noises Off. Isn't he not the writer of Noises Off?
Oh, okay.
Or those kinds of, again, madcap type comedies where it's rather nonsensical. Everything is kind of it's not based in any sort of believability or reality. It's just silly for the sake of being silly.
I see.
So and you're kind of getting more and more into that, and it's upping the stakes with all this. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
I think we're gonna wrap up. I don't think there's much more to say this time, but we will be back where we will conclude this story.
Yes. For the lost or found. We don't know yet. It's either lost or it's found.
Well, we found it, but we lost it for 12,000 years, so that's unfortunate.
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
And there's again the running gags of the just in case. There's a couple more of those.
He specifically said, "Hey, just in case," and then someone looked at him. I think it was Freddy, and was like, "Really, really?" You had to slip that in there,
right?
I think I would find the just in case jokes far more amusing if Freddy was doing it to rib Justin rather than Justin demanding that people say his name. It's very vain. It's very vain.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm down with that.
Yeah.
There could be this that maybe Justin doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And Freddy is the one who keeps slipping it in.
At first when these jokes started, I thought he didn't like it, but then the second time it happened, he's like, you could have said just in case, and it's all right, you're desperate.
He's a little white male-y. A little.
You don't say.
You don't say. A little white male-y.
Anyways,
Let's make things better.
I had fun chatting about your friend's book, and I look
Yeah.
forward to finishing that discussion next time.
Me too. Best wishes to you.
Bye, guys.